We're ready to go on a busy weekend of IndyCar racing on this 7/8 of a mile bull ring of an oval, and a first-time pole sitter under the lights. Connor Daly says, "I'm gone, let's go." And the doubleheader is underway here in Iowa.
Really early start for Connor Daly. He wanted to jump on Newgarden because the outside line can sometimes be the fast line, but Newgarden coming back quickly as he's now going to look to the inside, and he's there.
Putting the pressure on Connor Daly very early. Daly responds, though, up on that higher line, and isn't intimidated at the moment from Joseph Newgarden.
Newgarden wants that lead hinge. He knows that clean air on the front wing is king, but something just happened there. He really had to back off, and here comes Will Power.
Yeah, he just got in the dirty air there, and Connor has no reason to be intimidated. He's on pole on merit. His car was the fastest car in qualifying, faster than that #1 Chevy. He just needs to keep his head cool and stay calm, stay focused, not make mistakes this early in the race.
Now these guys right here, Simon Pagenaud, Scott Dixon, Graham Rahal, they really need to get on their bike and start trying to march through the field, because before you know it, the leader is going to be there at the back of the pack, and you cannot afford here to go a lap down early.
Here's the tough part for these guys at this stage of the race. The cars are all bunched together. There's so much dirty air back there that even if you're not driving in the lane of the car in front of you, there are still 15 cars in front of that creating dirty air. So the track conditions, still green track, not a lot of rubber down, and not great air for the likes of Scott Dixon and Simon Pagenaud trying to make up spots.
Ed Carpenter super loose already. You can see he's hanging onto his car. Guys are making moves on him. But here's the front of the lineup here as we go on board with Colton Herta chasing down Will Power.
Daly's gone. Connor Daly is almost 2 seconds out in front of Joseph Newgarden. What a promising start in the Gallagher Chevrolet. Awesome performance to shake off Newgarden from that early challenge, and has taken off. Marco Andretti is the biggest mover early on. He's back here with Scott Dixon, Simon Pagenaud fighting down further down in the field.
Oh.
Dixon and Andretti, that was tight.
Oh, he just hit the bump there in the center of the corner hinge, and it shot way up the track. Dixon is still there side by side. Pagenaud looking for a way to just scoot by both of these guys.
But Paul, I like how early in this race that second groove is working. Marco Andretti is not falling to Scott Dixon quite yet. He's making it hold really well through 3 and 4, and that's an encouraging sign for the rest of this race.
Well, he almost took the air off the front of Dixon's car right there. He didn't put the chop on him, but he certainly squeezed him. But Dixon's still right there, clear now, slides up in front of Andretti, and now takes the air, and here comes Pagenaud.
That was for 16th place. Meanwhile, further up in the field, Santino Ferrucci fighting there with Alexander Rossi.
I believe that's Jack Harvey.
Is it Jack Harvey? Pardon me, it is Jack Harvey. That's for a top 10 spot.
Just slid up in front of him there. Charlie was kind of taking the air off of both of them. He was turning in late, taking the air off Dixon, and then coming down to the bottom. But here comes Pagenaud to the inside of Charlie.
By the
he
way,
makes a pretty easy pass. He's really moving.
By the way, up front, Newgarden has caught Connor Daly. There's only half a second in it for the lead of the race, and they're getting ready to catch the tail end of this pack.
That's that clean air that we were talking about. Once you get out front, well, as soon as you start catching traffic, and you'll feel that turbulent air. Now Newgarden is moving back up closer. Connor Daly's going to try to fight to keep this lead. You've got to get through traffic cleanly.
You know, Connor talked about starting up front, having all that clean air and being happy about it. I said, sorry, bud, you're only going to have that for about 10 or 12 laps before you start getting into that lap traffic.
Got a nice run off the corner, Kelly, on the high side.
Well, as he tries to make another move in the opening laps, Tim Cindric telling Joseph Newgarden just to be patient. You see him making the move around the outside. They said, look, Connor Daly will come back to you, just be patient. So it seems like he was kind of biding his time, as you said. Doesn't take long around here to start hitting lap traffic.
He's got all clear, so he's in a little bit early here. So we'll see if he takes any changes on the front wing. Kelly, he was calling for, he had a lot of understeer.
Yeah, I think, PT, they will make some changes there on that front wing, because Will Power said that he had a lot of push on corner exit, so it wasn't perfect handling there in the early stages for Will Power, but the first of those leaders to come to pit road.
Only one turn on the front wing as Joseph Newgarden now comes in. He follows his teammate in a lap later.
Joseph had a little bit of a faster in-lap, which is crucial during these pit sequences as he gets tires done. Doesn't look like any adjustments to that. Oh, a problem on the right rear. Not a huge hold-up, but a little bit.
Little bit of a hold-up, about a second over his teammate, so that might help.
Yeah, this is going to be close. Will Power's already going through turns 1 and 2, and I think Power's got Newgarden.
see how it shakes out.
I think he's gone already.
I think he's gone already.
He absolutely does.
Good work from the 12 team, and there was a slight hiccup there on the champs team. That was enough to put power ahead of him.
A second in the pits is about 2 seconds on the racetrack right there, so that shows you what it takes.
Guys, look at who got both of them. Simon Pagenaud. Simon Pagenaud pitting on lap 58. Sato is running third right now, essentially the lead car that's pitted. He pitted on lap 46 and just made up boatloads of time on those fresh tires.
That new tire speed of Will Power, he just sailed around the outside of Pagenaud, but Pagenaud's now moved all the way up to 5th place.
I mean, for 15, he's got 15 laps on his tires. That sweet spot is going to go away pretty soon, and Pagenaud's put himself in a great spot. A bit of a errant tire there.
Quick recovery by that front tire change and grab that wheel, but here comes Connor Daly now, moving down underneath Ericsson and his teammate.
Clear, you're clear.
Whoa,
He's got one, got
loose.
two.
Big loose for
Nice job.
Felix.
You're clear, no pressure.
Rosenquist is yet to pit. Likewise, Pillow are the last two yet to pit. That should happen here any moment.
Connor loving those fresh boots on his number 59 Gallagher Carlin entry.
Look out, here comes Rinus VK, the rookie, as they go by Jack Harvey.
Harvey, you're clear now.
3 young guys that are all out of the Indy Lights Championship. This is the future of the sport right here, these young guys.
This is what hindered Colton Herter.
He was long on the stop, ran a little bit long. They took a tear off. See many, it looks like it wasn't taking the fuel, but it wasn't super long. Probably lost about 2 or 3 seconds, but here's Felix Rosenquist. Another issue with the back, with the wheel nut, pops out of the gun. You got to grab and put the wheel on and then put that nut back on by hand. So good recovery for him.
Great recovery from the outside rear tire changer on the 10 car. That is not an easy thing to do. That's something they practice in the shop. They know what happens in race conditions, and that definitely was some training coming to good use there.
That's like trying to juggle bowling pins and...
The first round of pit stops was not very strong for the Andretti Autosport guys. You've got Ryan Hunter-Reay back in 16th. He pitted from 7th. Colton Herta was in the top 5, down in 12th. Alexander Rossi struggled. As we look at Hunter-Reay now, sandwiched in between the Arrow McLaren cars.
Let's have a listen to some recent radio. There's someone running slow there. That's Tony Kanaan. Very slow in the Bryant Chevrolet.
Some kind of issue there.
Head on this lap.
Oh, you hate to see that for Tony Kanaan. The AJ Foyt Racing crew, he was so excited to get back.
Sounds like he has no power. Didn't look like he got up high or hit anything, or got into the wall. Just it's off song, it looks like.
Okay, we're ready for you. We're going to look at everything here. Here we are.
Maybe he did brush the wall.
You can see it. He's white-walled the tires.
He's hit the wall.
You can see the damage on that side edge.
Probably bent a toe
of the floor.
in the rear.
Yeah, he said it's bent. The crew guys are going to take a good look at that. The last thing you want to go and do is leave pit lane with any kind of damage on the suspension.
Yeah, go and turn the engine off, TK.
Uncharacteristic mistake for Tony Kanaan.
Killing the engine. They're leaving the right rear tire off. Looks like maybe something bent in that corner. That's a heartbreak for Tony Kanaan and everybody on the Bryant guys.
A winner here at Iowa Speedway, and you can see Tony's reaction and feelings. Shaking the head. He wants to maximize every opportunity he has in this final season of an illustrious career. And after tonight, he has just 3 more races left.
And here's a replay of Tony Kanaan. You see him up there at the top of the screen, top right. Just got high, got up in the gray, and he just barely got it, PT.
Yeah, just got up in the gray and just understeered up into the wall. Looks like they're going to try to fix it to let him finish out these laps, because that's certainly what he wants to do. So tough break for Tony Kanaan, and very rare mistake. You don't see him do that very often.
Will's being very good about placing his race car, as you said, Paul,
Right
where
in front of
Joseph
him.
wants to run.
There's the run there.
Here we go. Great run off the corner.
But look at Power drive into the corner. He just drives it in deep, but he left the bottom lane open there.
And what Joseph Newgarden's trying to do here is he can't get back to the throttle too early through 3 and 4 there, or his car's going to push up into the dirty air behind Will and really take off on the exit of 4. So he's kind of keeping it on the bottom by being patient on the throttle, waiting until Will moves up, and then,
Whoa!
New tires probably.
Graham Rahal.
Graham Rahal coming around. Here's an example of how fast the cars are on new tires. As Padua Ward comes in for service, he takes off.
Didn't go anywhere near as long as what he did on the opening stint.
Inside.
This might
You're cleared there, plus
upset
Joseph.
Power's car now because he's had pretty clean air. So this might be an opportunity for Newgarden to come by.
But just look at how quickly he pulls away. And guys, I'm really anxious to see how that strategy plays out for Padua Ward. He's going to do the early pit, make up a ton of time on these next few laps before the other leaders start to come in. We saw it work so well for Simon Pagenaud, for Takuma Sato. It's going to be good.
Askew is in as well for Arrow McLaren SP. And just like that, fellas, we are almost halfway through the first as Joseph Newgarden on the inside of Power. Boy, he'd been trying for so long, finally finds an avenue through.
And there's no clean air in front of him, unfortunately. He's driving right into the back of a string of cars that are a lap down.
Yeah, but these lap cars that are a lap down are all on fresh tires. That really upset the flow for Will Power as Jack Harvey goes by with no problem on fresh tires. So now look at the ground he's lost to Newgarden.
So too did Tony Kanaan, back out after the AJ Foyt Racing guys repaired his car. So good that TK is back out on track.
He's really struggling now.
And through
Just
this,
can't get through the center of the corner anymore.
but through it all, guys, as Dixon goes on the inside there, Will Power hung out in lane 2. All this time, Takuma Sato on tires 23, 24 laps older is maintaining the same gap. He's getting through traffic. He's doing a great job out front. It's a little over a second lead right now for Takuma as he comes to pit lane.
Clear to come down. Clear to come down.
I like this strategy. I think if he can continue this type of pace, he might be in the winner's circle, Kelly.
Yeah, remember he last came to pit road on lap 49, so Takuma Sato really had to hang on, which is exactly what the team kept coaching him to do. They made some pretty significant changes. His first pit stop, a couple turns, a front wing. Haven't really heard Takuma say much on the radio since then, just trying to hold on. As we said, we'll see how this strategy plays out. That was a long stint for Takuma on old tires, but he maintains the lead.
And here we pick up the championship leader, Scott Dixon, in the PNC Bank Honda. He came into this 5th round of the championship with a healthy 54-point lead, but there's a crash. Caution, it's Will Power!
Oh, no, his tire's missing. It looks like the tire came
Got
off.
a front tire missing off the car, so I wonder if they didn't get that wheel on it. There it goes. He says something broke. So this is really going to shake things up, and this really plays out for Simon Pagenaud right now because he has yet to pit, and I believe everybody's going to take this opportunity to get fresh tires and fuel.
Well, you got to see a lot of guys literally just pit, and they haven't been put a lap down because of where Pagenaud was. All the way down to 10th place are on the lead lap, and all with the exception of Dixon inside there have already pit in the last few laps outside the top 3. So it's Pagenaud, VK, Herta, and Dixon inside the top 10 on the lead lap that haven't pit. The rest of them have, so they'll cycle back to that back half of the top 10.
This is disastrous for Will Power. This has slid him back right now as we run. At this point, 90 points behind Scott Dixon, and the threshold everybody says is you don't want to get below 100 points, and then you're pretty tough to come back from it. So it's only going to get worse from here.
I don't think they're finally the wheel goes off. Looked like they were having trouble, the AMR safety team, and Will actually getting the steering wheel off, and now he is out of the car.
The steering wheel connects to the steering column with what's called a quick release, and sometimes the heat and all the work, then all the force going through the steering column, it can jam up a little bit. So that's not uncommon. As we look for a replay here, see the left front tire. He's got a bit of a problem there. Interesting.
He had the gun on the wheel nut there, and I don't know if he got it completely tight, but no, he just ran up high, brushed the wall, but I do not know how that front wheel came off.
We're about to see.
Because once the nut is on, it's
there we go.
It's off. Yeah, the front wheel fell off. Unbelievable.
Hold on.
So
Keep it down.
And that's the reason why we have the arrow
screen. There it is right there.
That front tire bounced right over the front of the car. It looked like it almost was going to hit him, but that is a classic case scenario of just not getting the front wheel nut tight. It worked itself loose.
And look how violently that steering wheel is spinning around in the cockpit. Will Power getting his hands off the wheel, protecting himself from injury as we see the replay here.
Yeah, he just didn't get it tight. He's got one hand on I don't think he's pressing the wheel nut, the lever on the gun. And
I've never seen that move before, Paul. Trying to do the wing one-handed while you've got one hand on the gun.
Ready to go back racing, and it's waved
yellow,
off.
yellow. No
Way
start.
too early. There's a restart zone that's labeled on the outside. Oh, huge crash in the back. Rinus VeeKay. It looks like Colton Herta are involved.
That car flew. A lucky escape for Colton Herta. There
Wow.
he is.
yeah, the guys in the back thought the green was still out, still charging towards the start-finish line as it was waved off, and a huge impact. Very lucky.
Fine.
Yeah, that's, yes, you can hear him say fine on the radio. So good to hear that.
The Dutch teenager, Rinus VeeKay, the rookie for Ed Carpenter Racing. He was involved. Colton Herta was involved. Scott Dixon was somewhere in there as well. I think he was late to arrive on the scene and kind of worked his way through. But you heard the response from Colton Herta. I'm okay. And there he is stepping from the Capstone Honda.
Big damage to the car. Every corner on that car is bent.
The pace car driven by Earl Servia taking the field through pit lane to avoid all the carnage on the front straight, to give the AMR safety team enough room to attend to both these cars, both these drivers. Again, everybody looks to be all right. For man, that was a very scary accident. But Paul, that kind of thing is so easy to happen when you have a waved off start. Guys check up, and if everyone's not on the same page,
Just
we'll
see
see
in the back,
now.
these guys are all nose to tail. You can't really see the flagger, and he just gets into the back tire and drives right over the top of that car. And another example of how the safety screen is really, I believe, just saved Rinus VeeKay's life with that.
And the fact that Colton Herta's, this is good on the onboard. Simon slows up. Rinus, it all just happens so fast.
No start.
You have almost no time to react in that situation. You're trying to be as close to the car in front of you on a restart as possible to try to get that draft, try to maximize.
Well, Rinus VeeKay got a little loose there. It stepped out and he had to check up, and Colton was on a run right there. So it was kind of a little bit of two things going on at once. A yellow, he got a little bit loose right there.
And having that safer barrier sit a few feet off the fence, this really saved Colton Herta from an even scarier ride. Had that gearbox got into the fence and started spinning that car, that would have been a much more violent impact for Colton Herta. Scary stuff, but again, testament to all the safety that IndyCar has put into these tracks, into these cars. I mean, that's twice already tonight, Paul, that we've seen the aero screen do something potentially very good.
The underside, the floor of Colton Herta's car went right across the left top side of Rinus VeeKay's aero screen. Pato O'Ward is at the head of the pack. Ryan Hunter-Reay and Joseph Newgarden are not on the lead lap. Green flag this time. Clean start. Let's go. Hunter-Reay trying to get back on the lead lap.
Think about this. Pato O'Ward is restarting with 5 Iowa wins right behind him between Ryan Hunter-Reay and Joseph Newgarden, both trapped a lap down. You saw when the pits opened, a lot of guys came in the back half of that top 10 who were on the lead lap. They're now going to be able to make this if they want without any more stops. The guys up front will not, so they're going to have to try to gap as best they can as Joseph Newgarden goes ahead and gets his lap back.
He got his lap back, but he's got a long way to go. He's got to come all the way around and then come back all the way through the field to get back to Pato O'Ward. So a lot of work for Newgarden for this to pan out, but as of right now, there's some guys that have pitted that can go to the end. If this goes green all the way, it might work out for them. If there's a late race yellow, tires are going to be everything at the end.
With the drivers all having to go through the pit lane during that caution, some of our numbers are a little off on the screen, but if I'm looking at this correctly, Alexander Rossi's the first of the guys that took that opportunity to stop. Connor Daly did it, Marcus Ericsson did it, so really those are the 3 drivers in the catbird seat. We could actually see Alexander Rossi backing up his first podium of the season with his first win of the season as we look at Simon Pagenaud.
Pagenaud ahead of Sato there, and then here Pagenaud's working on Oliver Askew for second place at the moment. You saw Ryan Hunter-Reay get his lap back, and the teammates are together. Pato O'Ward is under pressure from Oliver Askew, the rookie. Let's ride with him.
See back to Simon.
Pato O'Ward just struggling a little bit on those used tires. They're a few laps older than a lot of these guys that he's running around, so he's just got to run his own race right here.
Both of those guys are about 25 laps older on their tires than Simon Pagenaud as he slides down the inside. Oh, but Oliver really sends it around the outside, makes it stick kind of at the line. Pagenaud's going to have the spot. He should be able to clear him here through 1 and 2.
Simon's
and a great run off of 2. He's going to get a good run on Pato Award here as well.
Yeah, could this be a last to first story for Simon Pagenaud at the end of the night? 74 laps to go.
It's only a matter of time because he just got a big run off the corner. He dives for the inside, easily goes by Pato Award, dead last to first.
On merit. Now he is going to have to stop again, even with all that yellow. I don't think he can make it. It's lap 147 was his last one. That's a tall order. So he really needs to put the hammer down and try to get as much distance as he can between the likes of Alexander Rossi, who's right now only 1.5 seconds back.
What he needs to really do now is just work on saving those tires and not overuse them. You don't want to run them too hard.
And here he comes, Alexander Rossi in the pink and gray Auto Nation Honda for Andretti Autosport. He's working on Oliver Askew.
Doesn't run it in deep. That's always been his problem here, is he just doesn't drive it all the way into the corner. And he's really...
Break free if you need it again till we're by them, but then we got to look after the tires.
Still stuck on that bottom line, James. He never really comes up off that bottom line.
This is historically a really, really good racetrack for Ed Carpenter Racing. They've had cars in the top 5 each of the last 7 years, but just kind of got caught out by the strategy, the pit cycle, and it's buried Ed 2 laps down as he rides 15.
And 5 cars out of this race, the first of the Iowa IndyCar 250s. Here comes Oliver Askew with those blue front and rear end plates on the wings to identify him and the difference between his teammate Pato Award, and slides through for second. Nice work from the rookie.
Slide jobbed him right in front of him as Pato Award peels off now to pit. So this is going to be his last pit stop as he's hustling it around on the warm-up lane. Super tricky to get in here and not lock it up on the brakes.
So the way this is going to work out, Rossi will cycle to the lead of the race, but then we're going to have to watch the lap speed of the likes of Pato Award, Oliver Askew, and Simon Pagenaud, because Rossi will be hanging on right at the end of the stint. Kelly?
And as we see all these strategies start to unfold and play out for the end of this race, Pato Award, like I said, has really been pretty happy with his car. He's been able, and now we have trouble on this pit stop. That was a slow one, and that's going to cost him valuable track position for an otherwise really good day for the young Mexican.
They dropped the car on with the nut not on, so there are more issues on pit road. A lot of guys making mistakes on the pit road. Let's hope that this front wheel stays on and doesn't come off like Will Powers.
It's just crazy, Paul, the amount of mistakes we've seen on pit road, up and down every team, as we see his teammate Oliver Askew now in the pits for his final stop. Hopefully this can be clear. Kelly?
Yeah, and Oliver Askew's been dealing with some oversteer on corner entry and understeer coming off the turns, but the team says, hey, just keep driving it like you are. You'll be surprised by the results, and a nice clean stop for Pato Award's teammate Oliver Askew.
Let's ride on board, the Mission Foods on board. Oliver Askew, the 23-year-old rookie from Jupiter, Florida.
He's got Takuma Sato in between him and Alexander Rossi. That's Alex in the far background there in the distance, but it is not that big a gap if you're picking up a second a lap. Alex really has to put his foot down, concentrate, hit his marks with 13 laps to go.
Listen, he's a second a lap faster than Simon Pagenaud. He can catch Simon Pagenaud for the win.
He really shined at Texas. He's struggled compared to Pato on the road courses, crashed at the Indy GP, but this will be his best finish of the year if he can maybe get to the podium.
Last lap was a little slower. The pace needs to be better for Askew if he's going to do anything about it. There's Pagenaud, race leader. Less than a second to Scott Dixon. And then Rossi, almost 10 seconds. He is 10 seconds further back.
Here we go. That's those lap cars unlapping themselves. Scott Dixon wanted that clear shot at Simon Pagenaud, and now he's got it. It's going to be 10 to go at the line when Simon crosses next time, and it's less than half a second, guys. This is coming down to another great late race duel.
Well, can they make it? That's the big question. We are unsure if these guys are going to be able to make it.
Look out.
Big wiggle from
Askew makes the move on Rossi, who was loose coming off the corner. He's been hanging on with a loose car for quite a long time now.
Now Askew clears him, and he's got his sights set on 2 championship-winning drivers, 2 Indianapolis 500 winning drivers, and he's a rookie. He won the Indy Lights Championship last year. Now he's up in the big game, and he's chasing the big guys.
Pagenaud now has pulled another gap. He's done it twice now. Dixon has closed the gap. Pagenaud's opened up the gap. Both of these cars are trying to save fuel and make lap time, but the guy who's on the move right now is Oliver Askew on fresh tires. Can he close that gap? He's running a second a lap quicker than these guys right now.
It's a big deficit though, PT. It's 11 seconds with only 8 laps remaining. It's a big task for Oliver Askew, but those 26 laps of caution certainly changed the complexion of the race for these 2 drivers, Simon Pagenaud and Scott Dixon. 23rd to 1st, 17 to 2nd, 7 laps to go. This is going to be an amazing story if it plays out for them.
Pagenaud stuck behind the Dale Coyne car right now. Can't really find a way by, but Dixon right now is not closing. I wonder if Dixon has just kind of settled in on the points. Right now, these 2 guys are 1-2 in the championship, but Dixon has a 50-point gap. If the win is there and it's an easy win, I think you go for it, but no sense, I don't think, in risking the points, but he's got to close that gap.
Further back, Jack Harvey has his eyes on a guaranteed top 5 if he stays where he is behind Alexander Rossi. Newgarden in 6th, Connor Daly from pole to 7th. Actually, he just lost that spot to Pato O'Ward. And then Marcus Ericsson and Takuma Sato in the top 10. 5 to go here in Iowa.
As you said that, Lee, Newgarden actually got around Jack Harvey for 5th place. And Pato O'Ward is not far behind on that fresher set of Firestone tires. It doesn't look like Dixon's getting the run that he needs.
Rossi hanging on for 4th, but Newgarden is closing now. He's only a couple tenths of a second behind, so Rossi in trouble hanging on to that top 5, but the battle up front with 4 to go. 8 car lengths back is Scott Dixon. He's having a hard time closing up that gap.
Simon Pagenaud said post-qualifying, I'll keep my chin up and I will dig my way through. That's the only option I have. And that's exactly what himself and his race engineer Ben Bretzman have done. An incredible performance from Team Penske and the Menard Chevrolet driver.
Down to 7/10 of a second, now 6/10 of a second. The gap just kind of ebbs and flows. It closes, it opens, but there's a lot of traffic now up in front of Simon Pagenaud. Will this help Dixon? We got about 4 cars lined up in front.
Simon had to do the same thing at the Indy GP after poor qualifying, got himself up onto the podium, so close to a win.
Look at this.
3 back.
He's closing fast, so this is going to come down to the wire. White flag this time around, Lee.
Coming to the white flag.
White flag, less than a mile to go. Scott Dixon still has a shot at keeping that undefeated run going for Chip Ganassi Racing. Simon Pagenaud has the chance to give the captain, the new owner of the series and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, his first win of the 2020 season. From last to first, can you believe it? Simon Pagenaud wins in Iowa. The first night of the doubleheader weekend, and the most extraordinary story. What a job from Team 22.
And how about Oliver Askew coming across the line to claim his first podium of his young IndyCar career. Teammate Pato O'Ward in 4th. And Joseph Newgarden clawed his way back from that lap down, saving fuel on that final stint to grab 5th place.
Simon, from worst to first, is there a better way to notch your first win here at Iowa?
Wow, this place is tough, and what a night. I mean, what a day for us. First of all, amazing group effort from the whole Team Penske to recover from Road America. And I must say, we unloaded really well. This morning was a lot of fun. Qualifying was disheartening, but these guys never give up, and that's what this team is all about. It's amazing to get the Menard car to be shining here in Iowa is awesome. So I'm really proud for John and everybody at Menards and Chevy. Obviously we had the horsepower, the fuel consumption, but most importantly, I can't believe it. I have to rewatch the race. How did I get there? I don't know, but the last 50 laps were certainly, thanks Ben, was certainly a lot of tension, a lot of tension. When Dixon's chasing you, you better hit your marks.
Watch the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio. Sunday, August 9th at 1:30 p.m. on NBCSN.